What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're switching things up. I've trekked deep into the thick of it, right where the dew is starting to settle on the brush. I'm not coming to you empty-handed today. I'm here to share a bit of old-school wisdom on a silent weapon that's been in the kit of Woodsman for generations. It's low-budget, high-impact, and deadly effective, if you know how to handle it. I'm talking about the Slingshot. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sounds like a toy, right? Wrong. In a survival situation, this is a top-tier piece of gear that never goes out of style. Today, I'm going to show you the whole process, from selecting the toughest hardwood fork to the fine art of precision aiming. We're looking to put some protein in the pot for dinner tonight. Follow me. I'm going to show you that the wilderness isn't just something you walk through, it's something you thrive in. Today's sit rep, sourcing the fork, picking a hardwood with the perfect balance and 0 brittle points. The power band rig, pro tips on tying your bands for a consistent, stable shot. The art of the hunt, stealth tactics and low light aiming to close the gap on your prey. Field to table, simple small game recipes you can whip up with your trusty Slingshot.
Alright folks, let's get down to brass tacks. The most critical part of your Slingshot isn't the rubber, it's the natural fork. You can't just grab any old stick and expect it to perform. We're looking for a specific piece of nature's engineering. First, you want hardwood. Forget pine or cedar. They're too brittle and might snap right in your face under tension. Look for oak, hickory, or maple. These woods have the density and the flex we need to handle a heavy pull.
Now, let's talk angles. You're looking for a symmetrical Y. The arms should be roughly at a 45 to 60 degree angle from each other. If it's too narrow, your shot might hit the frame. We call that a fork hit. If it's too wide, it's going to strain your wrist. You want that sweet spot, where it feels like a natural extension of your arm. Check the grain. You want the grain to run straight up through the handle and out into the forks. This ensures the structural integrity. And remember, never use dead wood. Dead wood is brittle. It'll snap on you. Find a live branch, but be respectful. Prune what you need, and thank the tree for its service. Alright, we've sourced our perfect piece of hardwood. Now, it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. This raw branch isn't ready for the field just yet. We need to prep this frame to make it a functional tool. I'm going to start by trimming off the excess, getting rid of those rough nubs and any extra length we don't need. Then, I'm going to sand it down until it's smooth to the touch. You want this grip to feel like it was molded for your hand. This isn't just for looks. A smooth finish prevents any snags or tears when we move on to the next critical step, rigging up the bands. Let's get to work. Alright, the frame is prepped and smooth as a whistle. Now we're moving on to the engine of this whole setup, rigging the bands. Keep your eyes on the screen, folks. I'm going to walk you through the tie-down process. We've already got our bands ready to go, and let me tell you, quality is everything. You don't want cheap rubber snapping in the middle of a hunt. I always carry at least one spare set in my pack. Always have a backup, because in the bush, things break. Now watch closely. We're going to cinch these down tight. You want a solid, secure bind that won't budge. Once they're on, we're going to give them a rigorous stress test. Pull them back, check the seating, and make damn sure this rig is rock solid before we even think about taking a shot. Let's get it locked in. Now check this out. This right here is the real deal. Steel ball bearings. If you want consistency, you can't rely on random rocks you find on the ground. Every single one of these is perfectly spherical, perfectly weighted, and they fly straight as an arrow. In a survival situation, precision is survival. These steel beauties deliver a massive amount of kinetic energy upon impact. Whether you're aiming for small game like squirrels or rabbits, these are going to get the job done clean. They're smooth, they don't snag on the pouch, and they've got the punch you need to bring home dinner. Just remember, once you let one fly, you're likely not getting it back, so make every shot count. Alright folks, listen up. I'm going to break down exactly how to operate this custom rig, and more importantly, we're going to run a full diagnostic on it. You never, ever head out on a hunt, whether you're aiming for squirrels or birds, without making absolutely sure your gear is 100% reliable. Consider this the final check before we put boots on the ground. We built it. Now let's prove it. Alright folks, listen up. Now it's go time. It's time to put some meat in the pot, and my sights are set on small game up in the canopy. We're talking birds. And let me tell you, I don't need to go tracking very far from this spot. This whole area is crawling with them. Look up, you can see them flitting around in the tops of those high trees right now. There's no way I'm going to sit around and wait. It's time to put my skills to the test with this custom rig I just built. We're about to make it happen. Alright folks, listen up. I'm gonna break down the SIT representative situation report. Less than an hour into the hunt, and I've already bagged my limit, which is 2 solid birds. That's all the protein I need to whip up a fantastic dinner tonight. First order of business, getting some calories into my system. But before I can roast these birds, I'm gonna need to scavenge for fuel. I'm looking for the tightest, driest deadwood I can find in this area to build a fire and get a nice bed of coals going. We aren't just surviving today, we're dining. Let's get to work. Listen, it's not rocket science to get this rig back in action. All you need is some fresh rubber and whatever the wilderness provides right at your fingertips. I've shown you the how-to in this video, but here's the cold hard truth. The gear is only as good as the person holding it. If you've never handled a slingshot, don't expect to walk into the woods and bag dinner. It doesn't work like that. You've got to put in the reps at home. Practice until it becomes muscle memory. Because if you don't, you're going to be going to bed hungry in the bush, and that's a guarantee. But once you master this, it's a game changer. You never know when you'll find yourself needing to live off the land. This tool makes putting food on the table simple. And hey, if you're just hanging out at home, it's a hell of a sport. People all over the world compete with these for the pure fun of it. So I've got a question for you. If you were stranded in the deep woods today, how would you survive? How long could you actually hold out? Drop a comment and let me know. I hope this video brought some value to your kit. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more simple, real-world survival tactics. Stay sharp out there. Alright, take a look at this. Dinner is served. I've got one of those birds roasting right over the coals. Let me tell you, there is a world of difference between wild game and anything you'd buy at a grocery store. I'm taking a bite here, and man, it is incredible. The meat has this natural balance of savory and sweet that you just can't replicate. No seasoning, no salt, just the pure essence of the woods. It's honestly mind-blowing what nature can provide if you know how to harvest it. I gotta ask you guys, have you ever tried wild bird? If you have, did it hit your palate the same way it's hitting mine? Or maybe you had a totally different experience. If you've never had the chance, man, you owe it to yourself to try it. Trust me, it'll change your perspective. Thanks for sticking around and watching this journey. I'll catch you all in the next video. Until then, stay wild.